What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for Rurouni Kenshin. This is episode 8 and 9, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we kind of missed out on last week's review. However, these two episodes, of course, are of course, related to one another in terms of introducing us to another character. Was it Takini Megumi, who is of course an important character in this particular arc regarding the whole what was it, the opium distribution.
Yeah, so the both of these episodes sort of introduce her and and I guess what she's going through, like her dilemma with this one character, Conryu, who's I think is the one who's sort of like distributing the opium or these opium, um, and we kind of get introduced to her, and I forget exactly, like she
Okay, so if I remember,
yeah,
so what happened in episode 8 is both Kenshin and Sanosuke are at a gambling hall or a
yeah,
gambling building, and of course, what happens afterwards? I think Megumi uh, barges into the room, looking for help, and of course, she's being pursued by several people working with Konryu, and after, and of course, Kenshin and Sanosuke end up defeating him. Um, but actually before this, Sanosuke finds out that one of his old friends died after an opium addiction. So this kind of ticks him off, and that's when Megumi steps in, and of course, like I said, after Kenshin and Sanosuke ends up beating the men pursuing Megumi, they find out that Megumi is carrying packs of opium as well.
yeah. And I guess that's where we find out about, or we at least we hear about Conryu, I think.
Yeah, and they initially tried to go back to the dojo, and of course, Kaoru displays some amounts of jealousy towards Kenshin being with another woman like Megumi. But of course, she kicks both Kenshin and Sanosuke out for trying to hide certain details about Megami. So eventually what was it? They go off to see one of Sanosuke's friend uh, for help, but I guess they find out that I think two other men have been executed by Konryu, and I think that they go to the crime scene, and Kenshin is also shocked to see one of the people working with Konryu. I think was it Shinamori Aoshi.
Yeah, like we find out I guess he's a ninja, or he's a part of some kind of a ninja clan.
Yeah, he's I can't remember what was it. I think he's like a government employed agent from what I if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, uh they eventually after after the incident, they returned back to the dojo, and of course Genshi tries pushing Megami further for more information as to why she's been hiding the packs of opium earlier, and she's of course like reluctant to tell him, but of course they are confronted by this, I don't know, this gigantic looking red skinned man, attacking both Kenshin and Sanosuke by the end of episode 8, and of course this leads to episode 9, in
He
which
also like
uh
breathes fire.
yeah,
He's like
he has.
he stuffed some, like, what was it, like some kind of oil down his throat, and that's how he's able to like breathe fire, I guess.
Yeah, and of course, Sanosuke ends up suffering several. I guess you could say maybe third. Is it third first? I would say third degree burns, right?
I think
Maybe.
I guess so.
Yeah. Eventually, they end up beating this guy after Sanosuke literally just grabs something down this guy's throat and pulls out this, I don't know, this sack of whatever he was carrying to consume this.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was either alcohol or
I
oil
think
or
it was
whatever.
oil. I think, or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the reason why the guy was able to breathe fire. So they managed to take this guy down, but of course, another guy, I think what was it, like one of the ninjas working with Conryu, tries shooting a poisonous dart uh, towards Megami, but Yagiko manages to block the shot. But shortly afterwards, uh, the poison unfortunately takes its effect, and Yagiko is pretty much like incapacitated in the worst way possible.
Yeah, so Megami offers to help out, with trying to get I guess get the poison out of him and help him recover. Uh,
Yeah, and also Kenshin tries to confront this ninja, but he's also interrupted by another ninja. I think was it Oniwaban? That's what he was called. Um, so Kenshin manages to land a good strike on him, but of course, they end up escaping anyway. So Megami, of course, helps form an antidote to heal Yaiko, and one of the doctors who comes to the dojo to help Yaiko um, reveals that that something about Megami originally belonging to some like I think to some clan that can work on medicine. Um, but I think Megami, like, of course, gets dragged into this whole situation with Conryu after her family gets killed by Conryu's forces. So it's pretty much the reason why like Megami is forced to work with Kanyu to produce the opium he distributes.
yeah, we see like I guess that her whole village was burned down by him or something because I think she wanted like revenge on her father, I guess. And
Yeah.
then I guess, and then she was forced to work for him.
Yeah. So after learning the whole story, Megami, of course, carries some amount of guilt over what she's done in making the opium for Kanryu, and of course Kenshin requests Megami to stay at the dojo for her protection, and of course Kaworu agrees soon afterwards. Um, and then I think by the end of the episode we see what was it, the shinobi that what was it, that Kenshin injured, reporting back to Aoshi about Kenshin, who's of course really, of course Aoshi is like interested in knowing more about Kenshin, uh, possibly because he'll eventually know that Kenshin is the Batosai, the former Batosai.
Yeah. Um, and we also get like a post credit scene as well with Conryu um, going, or I guess meeting with. I guess these guys are supposed to be European or either. I guess European because they actually speak English, which of course this is the Japanese versions of the show, so it's Japanese people, I guess, trying to speak English, which of course always almost never sounds good. But yeah, they're all speaking English, and I guess I think, was it a shipment of opium or something? They had like a shipment of I
I I don't think
or
that it's
was it? I think it
opium.
was
I
money.
think
It was like something. Uh, it was either money or just more opium, but I think it might have been money. Uh, but
if I were to guess, it's possible it could be like a weapon shipment of sort. I don't,
well,
if I remember correctly, but
yeah. I mean, well, the movie does have like all these guns, so I mean, it's possible it could have been that. But yeah, so that's kind of where we end things. So I mean, maybe it was, yeah, it was something like that. Um, but yeah, I thought these two episodes were good. It seems like we're, it's getting more into the main plot now with Conryu. Um, and I mean, I remember this most of the plot from the first movie. It seems like it's kind of following that, but there are some interesting differences, like the ninja that's helping him out. I'm not sure if he was in the first live action movie. I don't remember him. There were some other
I
people
think
that were helping him.
I'm pretty sure Aoshi appears in the second movie. I
Oh,
don't.
okay.
He does serve a purpose in the story, in the opium storyline for the anime, but in the live action movies he never appeared in the first movie. he did make an appearance in the second and third movies.
Yeah. Uh, Megami is pretty much the same from what I remember, especially from what why she's helping out Kanryu and her story, and also her character as well is pretty much the same. Uh, but there are some other interesting differences, like that giant red guy that breathes fire. Like that's definitely something I didn't really expect. Um, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, like yeah, these I feel like the series has been getting a lot better. It was a little bit of a slow start, but it's I feel like recently it's gotten a lot better with what's been going on.
Yeah, especially well, since we're past the whole introductory arc, and now it's getting into the whole main meat of the storyline, which with Kenshin trying to take down like I guess you could say this drug cartel that Kanyu is running right now.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about the episodes. I don't know if you have anything else to say.
It's a good introduction to bringing back Megami into the storyline. It's like I said, it's following like the original storyline, uh, in its initial phases. But once we get to the later storylines, I think it was one of the main antagonists, Shishio, is going to make an appearance, which is like going to be one of the bigger storylines. Hopefully, likely to get adapted maybe by the second core.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested to see how they end up handling him, because he's pretty much, I would say, like as far as I know, he's like the major villain for the series. There are other ones that show
Yeah.
up, but like yeah, he's the one that is like yeah, he's like one of the major villains. Um, so yeah, but that yeah, guys. That all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.